Poppy Playtime, a full series review. The rise of an indie horror giant. Introduction: the horror gaming genre has seen many iconic titles, from Five Nights at Freddy's to Bendy and the Ink Machine, but few have captivated audiences as quickly as Poppy Playtime. Developed by MOB Entertainment, this indie horror series combines eerie atmospheres, puzzle-solving mechanics, and a rich, evolving lore that keeps players coming back for more. But does Poppy Playtime truly deserve its reputation as one of the best modern horror experiences? Or is it just another internet-fueled sensation? In this in-depth review, we'll analyze every chapter, its strengths and weaknesses, and the overall impact of the series. Chapter 1: A Promising Start. Poppy Playtime. Chapter 1: A Tight Squeeze. Released in October 2021, Poppy Playtime, Chapter 1, set the stage for what would become one of the most discussed indie horror games of the decade. The game introduces players to Playtime Co., an abandoned toy factory with a sinister past. You play as a former employee who returns after receiving a mysterious letter, only to uncover something far darker than expected. Gameplay and mechanics. The most innovative mechanic introduced in Chapter 1 is the Grab Pack, a pair of extendable hands that allow for puzzle solving and environmental interaction. Unlike many horror games that rely purely on stealth or combat, Poppy Playtime takes a unique approach, requiring players to manipulate objects to progress. The puzzle design is simple, yet engaging, ensuring that players feel challenged but never frustrated. The mix of exploration and problem-solving is well balanced, making it a standout feature. Horror and atmosphere. While Chapter 1 is relatively short, it establishes an unsettling atmosphere from the start. The dimly lit hallways, the uncanny smiling toys, and the eerily cheerful corporate messages contribute to an overwhelming sense of dread. The most memorable part, of course, is Huggy Wuggy, the blue-furred nightmare that quickly became the face of the franchise. His first chase sequence is brilliantly executed, forcing players into a panic as they navigate narrow vents while being pursued. Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: unique grab pack mechanic, memorable antagonist, Huggy Wuggy, strong atmosphere and level design. Weaknesses: very short, about 30 minutes of gameplay, minimal story details at launch. Chapter 2: Bigger, scarier, better. Poppy Playtime, Chapter 2: Fly in a Web. With the massive success of Chapter 1, expectations for Chapter 2 were high. When it finally released in May 2022, fans were introduced to Mommy Longlegs, a new, terrifying antagonist, and a deeper expansion of the lore. Expanded world and new mechanics. Chapter 2 greatly improved upon its predecessor by offering a larger, more complex environment to explore. The factory now felt more alive, with different areas like Game Station, where new mechanics were introduced. 3 major new features were added. Green Hand, an upgraded grab pack feature, allowing players to transfer electricity. More complex puzzles, challenging but engaging mechanics involving circuits, levers, and train controls. Multiple chase sequences. More interactions with Mommy Longlegs, making the horror more dynamic. Horror and character design. Mommy Longlegs is an incredible villain. Her childlike voice mixed with her grotesque, spider-like form makes her both fascinating and terrifying. Unlike Huggy Wuggy, she isn't just a silent pursuer. She taunts the player, making her more menacing. Additionally, Chapter 2 introduced the factory's deeper mysteries, hinting at human experimentation and a greater evil lurking in the shadows. Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: expanded environments, Game Station, new rooms, more mechanics and complex puzzles. Terrifying antagonist, Mommy Longlegs. deeper lore and storytelling. Weaknesses, some bugs and performance issues at launch puzzles, occasionally felt repetitive. Chapter 3, Experiment 1006 and the Darkest Chapter. Yet as Poppy Playtime continued to evolve, Chapter 3 took the series into its darkest territory yet. Titled Deep Sleep, this chapter focused on Experiment 1006, the mysterious entity hinted at since Chapter 1. A true psychological horror experience. Unlike the first two chapters, which leaned on tension-building and chase sequences, Chapter 3 focused more on psychological horror and the factory's gruesome past. The protagonist is now trapped in a nightmarish underground bunker, where failed experiments still roam. The main antagonist, Catnap, plays with the protagonist's mind, creating illusions and hallucinations. Gameplay and immersion. A major improvement in Chapter 3 was its non-linear exploration. Instead of guiding players in a single direction, the game allowed for more free movement, encouraging deeper exploration. New mechanics included stealth-based segments, hiding from Catnap's deadly gaze, flashback sequences, revealing the